There was a time driving a manual gearbox meant you had the sportiest car in town. Nowadays, even with a lot of the cars with CVT transmissions and automatics that are boring beyond belief, true enthusiasts still like for a great 6-speed manual transmission. Even with automatic slush boxes, CVTs, EVCVTs, there are still some amazing manual gearboxes available on the market. In 2026, I'm offering you 7 amazing cars with manual gearboxes you can still get your hands on. So if you like rowing your own gears, from the engaged driving perspective, and the added bonus is criminals just generally don't know how to drive a manual, so it makes good security feature. I'm going to offer you some of the most amazing manual gearboxes available for 2026. Let's get into it now.
Life's too short to drive boring cars.
One of the first amazing cars you'll recognize for 2026 is from the Ultimate Driving Machine. You know, the mantra, BMW, they've been building drivers' cars for many, many years. But yes, you can in fact still get, even though it's a shrinking market with manual gearboxes, they offer it up in the M2. Yes, starting at about $68,000, you can get into a brand new BMW M2 with a 6-speed manual gearbox that punches out a massive 473 horsepower and a cracking 406 pound-feet of torque. Absolutely breathtaking. I love these cars. I drove one a few years ago in both manual format as well as dual clutch gearbox format, and they were both absolutely lovely. You can't go wrong with rowing your own gears. It's fun, it's frivolous, and in the M2 format, it's one of their smaller, more compact models. It's also rear-wheel drive. Forget about all that front-wheel drive nonsense that a lot of these mainstream manufacturers are rocking. The M2 is one of the best. With that 3-liter turbocharged inline 6-cylinder engine, it definitely has the gusto what you're expecting from the M3 and the M4, but in a much more compact package. Love the M2. I've always loved the M2 and the competition, and this is definitely one of those you need to get your hands on in 2026. Another one on my list that is definitely thundering in performance. Yes, if you like rumbling V8 horsepower, there aren't many like this left on the market. You can either get a 10-speed automatic transmission or, of course, a 6-speed manual gearbox, and that's the CT5V Blackwing. Absolutely breathtaking. 668 horsepower, about 660 pound-feet of torque. It will literally rip the earth a new hole. Yes, these things are breathtakingly quick with 6.2-liter V8. Yes, rear-wheel drive, absolutely tire shredder 9000. These are absolutely amazing, and you definitely got to take a closer look at a lot of these vehicles. Supercharged engine V8, what's not to love? And for a price tag of around 100 grand, it seems a little bit rich. But where else can you get this level of power, performance, horsepower, and torque? Not too many more places that I can think. Unfortunately, even the likes of the Jaguar F-Type have gone away, and many of those Mercedes-Benz AMG cars with the big V8s going away too. This is one of the dying few you can still get with a manual. And the next one is one of my personal favorites. Definitely, you've got to love the brand. 2026 still offers up a Porsche 911 Carrera T that actually is available with a manual gearbox. 3-liter, flat 6 turbocharged engine, puts out about 388 horsepower. Yes, you can row your own gears. Relatively lightweight, great performer, and an absolute marvel. Yes, unfortunately it does come with a bit of a price tag of about $143,000, but trust me, you don't lose much value, a little initial depreciation, but the 911, especially in coupe format, are one of the best vehicles for holding their value and value retention. You can get into one of these 5-10 years later and basically lose almost nothing on it. The 911 Carrera T, definitely one you've got to give a look. But wait, they're not all huge dollar cars, 100, 150 grand. Guess what? You can get into a lower cost car that's equally fun to drive, the Volkswagen GTI. That's right, for 2026, you can get the dual clutch gearbox that's pretty much a 7-speed semi-automatic, but you can also get a 6-speed single, basically manual transmission. It's absolutely lovely. 241 horsepower, about 270 pound-feet of torque. But guess what? There's a Series 50 edition, which offers up almost the same as the Golf Type R performance at 320 horsepower if you want special editions. These are no joke. These are fast, they're fun, they're cool as hell. But with a front-wheel drive, torque steer, look out. They ain't got nothing on me. This is a great car, fun, frivolous, relatively affordable, and yes, it's practical. You've got a hatch, you've got 4 doors. It's a great little car. The Golf GTI or the Volkswagen GTI, definitely one. You've got to give it a look. Another relatively affordable sports car for about $43,000 and up, you can get into a brand new Nissan Z car or Z car. Absolutely glorious. 400 horsepower in the base trim, 420 in the Nismo. Manual gearbox, check. Absolutely fun to drive. I used to have a 280ZX and a 300ZX way back in the day, and they're glorious. This is a twin turbo 3-liter V6, and it puts down a great amount of performance. Yes, guess what? You can either get the 9-speed auto, but forget about that nonsense. You can actually get an Nismo now next year is coming out with the 6-speed manual just along lines with the base model. The Nissan 350Zs, the 370Zs, and now of course the 400Z cars have always been glorious cars. Tuners love them. I love them. We all love them. They're manual gearboxes. Definitely a charming car with that sit-back roadster long front hood. It's a glorious piece and fun. At a time when all you can get are these noisy, buzzy CVT transmissions, who wants a Jatco when you can get a manual gearbox like this in the Nissan Z car? Affordable, fast, fun, and really quite exciting. Give it a look. The next one might be a car that some would consider a little bit more responsible. That's right, the Civic comes out with the Type R. Yes, it comes with a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, front-wheel drive, manual gearbox for about $46,000 and up. Guess right, 320 horsepower, and it outlaps many supercars of yesteryear. Or the Civic R is one of those cars that's absolutely fun, a little overdone with some of the styling, but I love it just because it's an honest car with a great performance attitude, and it is mighty quick. It doesn't have that big torque punch, but I'll tell you, you keep whining, pulling those gears, and you're going to be welcome to a great, phenomenal lap time. The Civic Type R, definitely one you've got to give a look at. Hey, it's Civic level reliability for a modicum of dollars. It's definitely a car you've got to look at. Not too many of these around on the road either, so you're definitely going to feel like a winner driving a Civic Type R. And then there's another gem that I've loved these for years. I took one out for test drive, an older generation, and it was a track prep. It was lowered on some springs, and it was absolutely hilarious. I was grinning like a Cheshire cat. Truly, I fell in love with this car. They're absolutely amazing, the way they drive, the way they handle. Are they the fastest in the straight line? Not necessarily, but they're plenty punchy, quick enough in a straight line to actually keep it interesting. Handling is their characteristics. Reliability is fun, and they're stylish. What we're talking about is a brand new 2026 Mazda Miata or MX-5, 2-liter inline 6-cylinder or inline 4-cylinder engine. And yes, it features about 205 horsepower to about 155 pound-feet of torque. It's not a torque monster, but boy, is this car really fun to drive. Manual, yes, you can get an auto, but why bother with those? These are great little cars. Rooftop, drop it down. Yes, the sun's shining. You can enjoy the open air. It's an absolute lovely car. I've always loved the MX-5, the reliability, the Mazda durability. You're going to own it for many years. You're never going to be bored of it. And it's a car that just is honest and easy to own. The Mazda MX-5 Miata with that little 4-banger, definitely one you got to take a look at. For anywhere from $33,400 to up to about $44,000, it's relatively affordable and falls smack dab in the entry-level sports car realm. Definitely take a look at it. You're going to love the Mazda MX-5. And for more enthusiast cars, right there, the only BMWs I would buy, and right there, the only Mercedes-Benz I would buy. Hope to see each and every one of you real soon, everybody. Have a wonderful day. See you then. Bye-bye.